in, year out, thousands of Africans, including Nigerians, perish on their way to Europe in what they call search for greener pastures. It is equally worrying that every month, hundreds of Nigerians are brought back to this country from Libya after failed attempts to cross the Mediterranean Sea. Now, there are factors to this irregular migration. There are pull factors and there are push factors. The push factors has to do with the issue of poverty, economic instability, and also the pull factor has to do with unrealizable dreams and illusions, and also other components that has to do with drug trafficking, terrorism, and sex abuse. It's unfortunate that African nations, including Nigeria, continuously ignore this tragedy that is before us. 26 lives lost in an attempt to cross to Europe is one tragedy too many. This motion highlights the problem and calls for action. An action that will stop our young men and women moving into the hands of drug traffickers, human traffickers, and terrorists. It is high time that the relevant agencies of government do everything possible to stem the tide. When African dies on the Mediterranean, it is the soul of our continent. It is our dignity. It is our place in the Committee of Nations that is questioned. We cannot pretend that there is no problem. The problem before us is the problem within us. Government after government will refuse to act. In the last 10 years, over 10,000 Africans perished along that route. And it is unfortunate both the African Union, ECOWAS, and the government of Nigeria are still waiting for somebody to do something somewhere. The death of this Nigerian is a call for action, for us to immediately implement programs and policies that will clearly highlight the danger of this trip and that will also in every possible way stem this tide. European nations in the southern coast of Europe are at the receiving end of this migration. And nations within the coastal Mediterranean regions of Africa are the exit points to Europe. There is a need for an inter-African action. African countries with the European Union must work to stem this tide. These Nigerians were deceived that crossing over to Europe is crossing to paradise. These Nigerians were deceived that there's a greener pasture. But we have seen it time and again. They travel to Italy and end up as sex workers. They travel to Italy and end up as drug traffickers. These Nigerians who died is a moral issue before us as much as it is a political responsibility for us to act. I commend the mover of this motion, and I believe that similar motion was brought in some few months ago, where the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs were mandated to work out and provide solutions, recommendations to this Senate for which an action could be taken. There is no better way to act on this problem than actually to make meaningful, effective, and far-reaching recommendations that will stem the tide of this movement. The irregular migration to Europe and the death we have seen are results of a number of factors. There are security issues, there are economic issues, there are political issues. And I believe this Parliament is the best place to which this issue can be brought to the attention of the government. Thank you very much.